The common denominator this morning through the readings is hope. Hope. When Jesus told the Pharisees that you are gods, what makes you a god? Is it being accepted from sufferings? Is it being in a high position, commanding people? No. What makes you small g gods is you bring hope to the people. And somebody said that a nun, or she was reading a book, I forgot the title and the author, that as leaders, when you lose hope, you cease to be a leader. Because as leaders, you are to be a guide and a hope to the people in the midst of darkness and suffering. That's what's one of the things that makes you a leader, giving hope. And one of the things that makes you a God is hope. You give hope to the people. So as we look at the readings and reflect on them, we ask ourselves, are we made or are we gods? We evaluate ourselves, are we gods? Because a God gives hope to the people. Just like Jesus, but as you can see in the book of Acts, what makes you God is the situations that we face. If you will look at the situation of the Acts of the Apostles, Paul and Barnabas were persecuted from town to town. And last they came to this city, finding a man who was not able to walk from his father's home. And they healed them, they healed him, and raised him up, caused him to walk. And what was the result? They gave hope to these people and to this city. And what is the response of the people? Of course, it was extreme. They offered to them sacrifices, thinking that they were gods. What made them a god? They gave hope to the people. And also in the book of Job, one of the things that we can, reading through the book of Job is, it gives you much hope in the midst of suffering. And we have to realize that if we are to give hope to other people as small g gods, especially in the midst of suffering, we have to learn to accept at some point of our lives and to have peace in our hearts that frustration, sinong hindi na po frustrate dito? Disappointment, sinong hindi na-disappoint dito? Okay. Pain, sinong hindi sumasakit ang balikat at paa? Ano pa ba? Misfortune. Yan. Illness. Unfairness. Yan. Unfairness. Sadness. Death are part of our lives that we have to learn to accept. When we learn to accept it with peace in our hearts, regardless of those things that I mentioned, we give hope to other people because they see the peace in our lives, accepting, learning that these things are part of our lives. And the more we realize that they are part of our lives and not deny them, then we'll have peace in our hearts. And with that peace in our hearts, we can have hope. Just like Job, he learned to accept the situation. He did not deny it. He learned to accept them. And when he accepted them, he learned how to have peace in the midst of suffering, and he gave hope to those around him. So, you are gods. And as gods, we are going to give hope. And one more thing, learning from Job for us to be people of hope, is that we have to be open and open to God's surprises in our lives. God works in mysterious ways, and we have to be open to His surprises. He always listens and answers our prayer, not in a way that we expect God to answer them, but He always answers them. And when we realize that, then we can be like God's, giving hope in every situation, regardless of the sufferings, regardless of the pains that we encounter in life. And this is what I really learned in visiting hospitals, sick people. When they learn to be open to God's surprises and accepting these things, begin to see the peace in their lives regardless of the sufferings that they encounter. And most of us who are visiting sick people, alam na natin familiar, because it is true, familiar things when people visit, or especially clergy visits people in the hospital. Most of the time we say, we learned more. We got more faith and hope. And those people whom we visited has taught us more about faith, hope, and love. Tama? Why? Because they learned how to accept these things and give hope to other people. So, we are God's. And as God's, we give hope in the midst of persecution and darkness. Amen.